Hey, good afternoon. My name is Ross Nova. And so today I did like 3 trips around northwest of the city, mainly a little bit of the west. And I got to talk to some phenomenal guys. Like, this is every day phenomenal. I love talking to these guys. These guys are excited to be talking to drivers oftentimes just to talk to other people besides the ones they're working with. And I got to really see what they do, which is amazing. Like today, I literally saw must have been like almost a foot thickness of steel. This was like a this 4x6 thick piece of steel. And he said each one of them, they were all stacked up too. Each one of them weighed about 25,000 pounds. That's pure steel. I was just, amazed by it, that these people are able to take something like that and shave it off to the size they want, cut it to the size they want, use CNC machines to cut it into the shape they want it. It's been a journey for the past couple, 3, 4 days, as I ask more and more questions of what this warehouse does, right? One warehouse, they buy a bunch of granite and it comes into their warehouse and then they sell it to people, to other businesses that need granite to make countertops. And you can see the water pressure cutting the granite. That was kind of cool as well. I've been there a couple of times, so wasn't quite new to that place, but still, it's every time I see this kind of stuff where you see the raw materials before it's used to make other products, like the beginning stages. That's like the foundation of Minnesota, right? These people are working in warehouses that take the raw materials and shape and sculpt it, right, to the things that other businesses need for them to build what we buy in stores, So it's kind of really fascinating and amazing to see the foundation, like the beginning stages of products being made. So I really, really like that, and I really enjoy talking about it. A lot of people are excited. One guy was literally dragging me, saying, "Hey, let me give you a tour of the place." Like, he loves showing people what he does because he's proud of the work he does. One guy even asked me, he's like, "Do you like what you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love my job. Like being a flatbed truck driver, I really get to go in and really see what the warehouse does." And so I take pride and joy in the work that I do, mainly because I like to meet people and hear other people's stories and thoughts and whatnot. By the way, this is more coffee. Latte coffee. Latte. I'm so horrible at coffee, but it has caramel, chocolate, whipped cream. Oh yeah, freshly ground beans melts my heart. You gotta enjoy the simple moments in life, such as the first sip of coffee, right? I understand Crying Amy Klobuchar. She was complaining about how tariffs are causing the coffee price to go extremely high. But I don't know if she knows that there has been droughts in Brazil and other areas. So there's less coffee, meaning supply and demand, meaning the coffee price goes up. Not because of tariffs, that could be part of the reason, but because of supply, demand, and the drought that's been going on in Brazil last year. And I think we're finally catching up to us, because I did notice coffee is more expensive. But hey, you guys go to Starbucks, buy $12 cup of coffee. I'll spend $12 on bag of beans and make 30 cups or whatever. So anyway, I got at least one more sip. Wow. Anyway, so I'm talking to these people at the warehouse, and you have to understand they're not they're not general managers, they're not CEOs, they're not managers. They're like the low end warehouse people. They're the ones that actually do the real work, right? They're the ones that use forklifts to get off my truck. They're the ones that run the machines. They're the ones that make sure that warehouse is organized. So, well, Amy Klobuchar is talking to the CEOs and all these other people, asking what she can do to make businesses better or make people, happy in a way. I prefer talking to people at the bottom because the people at the bottom truly knows where things are, and how bad things are based on if it's slow or if it's busy, if they go home early, or if they're staying late evenings because they're busy, which means they're making overtime, more money in their pockets, right? So, so I ask people, what do you think of the government? Where do we stand? What are some issues that you're having with? And I wrote some few things on the board, which I'm reading. Quote, where did the fucking money go? Unquote. He is talking about the fraud there. I think fraud will be the front issue in the debates and political platform. It's something that we have to answer. Where did the fucking money go? I know there's few senators, representatives that are running for governor of Minnesota. And my question to you, just like any other citizens asking, is where did the fucking money go? Excuse my language. Why did you not raise concerns? I heard, did you not pass bills to investigate? Were you not able to pass bills? Were you not able to hire your own private investigators? Like, why now? This has been going on for at least 8 years, and it seems like it's been a lot longer than 8 years. So those people that are running for governor that are currently holding office, who I'm talking about, there's quite a few of you. Where did the fucking money go? Why were you not on top of it? Why did some, amateur reporter, not that I'm saying amateur, but almost a nobody is reporting on this, breaking news, and all of a sudden you're saying, fraudsters deserve to go to jail? Like, well, yeah, but what can we do to prevent that going forward? And where were you prior to that? What were you doing? Another person says all Democrats care about is votes. That is very, very true. It's something I've seen time and time and again. They want their base minorities to show up for a day to vote, and then they forget you until 4 years later. I strongly believe that's what's happening oftentimes. And I think, this is just my thoughts, I think minorities have caught on to that, and they stop voting, as in there's less and less people voting for the Democrats. And so the Democrats are looking for other voters to vote. And for the past 4 years, they've been letting in illegals, registering them to vote. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not saying there was fraud. I'm not saying There wasn't. So, yeah. Now, this was interesting. Like I said, I'm just listening, making conversations to warehouse workers around Minneapolis, St. Paul. This guy says George Floyd burnt down the city, the rioters, the protests, burnt down the city. Protesters are whining and bitching when ICE has been around for a long time. So, kind of two things he's kind of angry at. He still sort of is angry, I guess. He still doesn't understand how the city burnt down. And based on videos, I was going to take a trip to George Floyd, but I hear it's unrecognizable. That it looks like a third world country. I've been there once 3 months ago, and I was not impressed, but I heard it even gotten worse or so. So I'll have to check it out and see again how bad it's gotten. I know that city or that area have spent $3-4 million of planning, just planning. Like, hey, let's sit down, let's drink a cup of coffee, and let's just talk about what we want to do about George Floyd. They spent $3 million. I personally don't understand that, right? And yet nothing's been done yet. Is there a fraud going on in there? And now there's a line of cars, just windows being destroyed because protesters don't know if those are ICE vehicles or not. They're just destroying windows, looking inside vehicles, right? That's cost of everyday people to replace that window. Costs what, $250 to replace the window because their insurance is not going to cover it because it's under $500. That's 4 or 5 tanks worth of gas. Thank you, protesters. Luckily, it hasn't been as bad as George Floyd time when pretty much everything was on fire. Let's see. ICE has not been, and he is right. ICE has been around for a long time, I believe, since Obama. So quite a long time. I think he's the one who brought them on board or created ICE agents, and he's used them. Let's see. Trump has used them. I think he's using them a lot more often. So they've been around a long time. I think after Biden literally opened the floodgates of illegals, Trump is trying to get them back home, right? Yes, I kind of said it in a nice way, but he's sending them back. And so that's going to cost money. It's not going to be cheap. In my last video, we kind of went over that a little bit. The cost of having ICE agents in Minneapolis, it's $600,000 per day just for ICE agents. That's federal paying. But then we're paying to house them, maybe feed them, hotels that are being destroyed, vehicles, we're paying for all that, facilities to hold them, we're paying for that. The Minnesota taxpayers are paying for that. Medical, we're paying for that, right? So I can kind of feel that taxpayers are not happy at the low level, like you and me, right? Warehouse people, truck drivers, Let's see. Another one says, police are not arresting rioters, but rural areas. He does have a point. I've noticed the police, honestly, I have not seen hardly any police in any of those videos of them coming in and arresting rioters. Even if there's no ICE agents, right? They're not out there arresting people for destruction of property. Where are they? I am kind of disappointed in our law enforcement in the city, but can I really blame them? Because that has to do with the mayor and the governor, I believe. I think their hands are kind of tied, but I don't know. there's a lot of questions that I have and not enough answers. Trade. So our granite that you use, that we have on our countertops and kitchens and stuff like that, a lot of that is shipped. I'm guessing 90% of it is shipped. Right now, I did some math. I looked, just browsed. It's at 15% for trade deals. One guy, so I picked up this marble from Italy. It was a work of art. It had bluish, greenish, goldish. It was mosaic. It was one of the most beautiful granite countertop slabs that I have ever seen in my entire life. He said it was about 150 per square foot. And there was two of them, large sheets. And that was the wholesale price. So you can kind of imagine, once they sell it to a company and the company sells it even more so to the client, you're looking at $250, $300 per square foot, It was very breakable, he said. I'm like, really? Now you're telling me that? I was nervous hauling that thing around, afraid that it would chip or break or crack. I was so nervous. I wanted that thing off my truck. So again, he's concerned about trade. He did say business is picking up a little bit again, which is good. Another person says ICE is distraction from the fraud. All that protest, all that destruction that we start seeing, all the videos or all the cameras, phone cameras, whatever, news networks, their cameras are facing at the protest and not at the fraud, which I totally agree. I 110% agree. Oh, this was a good one. Now, as a governor, they don't really have much say in it. They could write a beautiful love letter to Trump, because we know he loves his love letters, right? He loves getting love letters from foreign leaders. But this person, he has an immigrant who immigrated from overseas, and he's been at it for quite a while trying to get his citizenship. He's doing it the correct way, right? And he's still working on it. And he said he wants an easier way to obtain citizenship, U.S. citizenship. And I would agree with him on that. I think it taking 15 years, 10, 15 years is a long time. It's a long time. I think we need to cut that time in half at least, right? I don't think it should take that long. I told him I got my U.S. citizenship. In fact, my paperwork was mixed up. I should have been naturalized when I came to the U.S. as a kid. And so I had to actually kind of almost start all over in getting my citizenship. But because of my military experience, I was able to get it within 6 months or less. It was pretty quick. And I should tell you stories about getting my citizenship. But that's for another video. Let's see. So yeah, I think whoever becomes governor should write a love letter to President Trump about if we can somehow fast track some of these citizenships, especially if they're hardworking, they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? They're making the world a better place, right? They're becoming doctors. They're helping the people. They're starting businesses, right? They're contributing into society. So if they're contributing into society, I want fast track citizenship for sure. Now, if they're just sucking up, leeching off tax paying people, and not really working, not really contributing as much, and they're just living off welfare, no. Sorry, no. I draw a line. Yeah, some people don't like that, but I've met a lot of immigrants that are really, really amazing. They do phenomenal work. You can see the house around me, right? The windows, I did that myself. I'm an immigrant. The floors, did myself. Right? There's a lot of stuff I did around this house that I did myself because I take pride and joy. And I think a lot of those immigrants do take pride and joy in the work they do as well. So I am all for cutting the time down as long as they can show good track record of contributing to our society in a positive way. So, yeah, love letter to Trump. He also said family and religion is very important to him. Family, I'm guessing he wants to be able to save money, put money away for college for his kids. Religion, the freedom to practice his religion without interference from the government. That guy that I talked to when he's talking about citizenship, family, and religion, that guy, based on his answers, he truly is a wonderful guy. Like, just speaking to him, I could tell he truly cares. And he did mention, like, he doesn't want to fight with Republicans and Democrats. He wants people to coexist, to find a middle ground, right? If there's an argument about to happen, he just goes quiet, he says. He says, when there's arguments about to happen, I just go quiet. Because I don't want, a war. I want peace, is what I sense from him. That guy is amazing. Like I said, all the warehouse people I talk to are really amazing. They're all hardworking people. And they're the foundation, like the true foundation of Minnesota, of American society. Without those guys, like, we cannot build other stuff, right? We had to have strong foundation. We have to make sure we take care of these guys, men and women, of course, that work in these warehouses. So, yeah. This guy, he was very straightforward. He says, wants government to leave them alone. I agree. I am tired and sick of government interfering into my life. I just want to be left alone, pay my taxes, and do my own thing. Simple. He asked, what are they not taxing? I agree. In fact, there was a business I know that found a niche, that didn't have to pay taxes. Government found out about it, changed few codes, changed few, things in the tax code, and now that person had to pay taxes now. Yeah, they want their pound of flesh from everybody. And it's more and more they're asking every year. Every year we work harder and they want more money. He also said, sick of all the programs. Minnesota has a lot of programs. We are the land of Minnesota nice. I have a heart for a lot of people, but I think there's too many programs. Do some programs need to be cut? Yes. Which ones, for me to decide, I have to see them. And the thing is, I don't even know 1% of the programs. There's very few that I know where there's probably thousands of programs that we are involved in, you know? I had a thought. Just kind of wrap this video. I'm trying to think and not just talk. We work, we pay taxes, right? The state raises taxes, so our dollar doesn't go as far because we have to pay more into taxes. Then we have the program, the business program, the new business health tax, where you can go home, paid leave tax or paid leave program that businesses have to be involved in. That comes more money out of our paychecks. Other programs come out of paychecks. Yet, and because of that, more money coming out of our paychecks, the boss says, I'm sorry, we can afford to give you a raise, despite that everything in price is going up, right? They're taking more money out of our pockets. And our dollar, what we can buy, is a lot less. And so and that's where I think the Americans are struggling. If I say it properly, I do apologize. We work for, say, let's say $10, but then we have to pay into these programs that the businesses have to get involved with. Taxes are going up everywhere. And so, yet the bosses and the owners cannot give us a raise to keep up with inflation. Inflation is also another a piece that's causing for us to. It's hard to explain. I'll have to write this down later so I can do a video just on that alone. But I feel like our dollar that we work for is actually losing every year. And the bosses, the owners cannot give us a raise to kind of keep up with inflation. And so I have a problem right there. That's what I have an issue with. The fact that I can work 93 hours 1 week and get $3,000, but $1,000 is taken away, never seen ever again. The harder you work, the more money they take out of you. It's an ongoing problem that has to change because we have to protect the warehouse workers, the blue collar workers. We have to protect them because they are our foundation, right? We stand on what those guys do in those warehouses. Without those warehouses, we're screwed. And I know there are a lot of warehouses in Minneapolis that are closing down. And they're building big, beautiful, expensive apartments. But how can they afford those apartments if there's no jobs in their area? There has to be a fine balance, right? We have to make sure we protect our warehouse workers, their jobs, the businesses that have to deal with warehouses, wholesale building. Those are our foundation that keeps Minnesota moving forward. That's what I believe. I think it was good information. I really liked, just kind of summarize it. I really liked the, speeding up the citizenship. Do remember Democrats did turn down, I could be wrong, but I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a Dreamer Act that Trump presented in his last presidency, saying, if you give me border wall, we're going to make all these citizens legal. They said no. Trump went and got the money from the military and built his wall, right? So I think we need to do something like that again, but we have to make it appealing and write a love letter to Trump. Police are not doing their jobs as much. All Democrats care about is votes, which I agree. And where did the fucking money go? Ross Nova, shooting forward, brighter, bolder for our warehouse worker for a better tomorrow. Thank you.